Hey, Daily Dosers. My name is Travis. I'm so excited to hang out with you today. It was about 6 or 7 years ago. We were coming back from a youth pastor's trip. And we were getting on the plane. And I remember we finally find our seats. We sit down. And I tell my people sitting in my row, hey, guys, I'm going to go get some water in the back. Do you guys want some? It was really cool. On the flight there, we found out we're allowed to go to the back and get our own water and coffee, which is unheard of. So I'm going to the back to get water, and they're like, yeah, I want some water. As I'm coming back with water, of course, all the other youth pastors are like, yo, Trav, can I get some water? I'm like, okay. So I go in the back and start grabbing more water for everyone. And just as I'm done handing all the water out to all my friends, I'm on the way back to now get my water. And as I'm heading back, there's a row that a guy stops and says, hey, by the way, can we get 2 coffees and a water? And I remember as I'm walking back, I'm like, wait, what did he say? And it's interesting how I have no problem serving others until actually someone treats me like a servant. And I remember as I'm walking back, I'm like, I can't believe that guy would ask. Like, does he think I work here or something like that? And it's so crazy that it's funny how that bothered me. But yet, if you go to Matthew 20, it talks about how Jesus said he came not to be served, but to serve. We look at John 13 and how Jesus, the first thing he did, or actually not the first thing, but one of the things he did to disciples right before he was going to die is he washed his disciples' feet. And we get this example that we're supposed to serve others. But you know what's hard? Maybe I don't know if you're like me, but there's certain people in my life I hate serving. And there's certain people that annoy me. There's certain bosses, there's certain coworkers that you might have a problem. Go, listen, I can serve anyone, but not that person. I can be nice to anyone, but not that person. And it's crazy how God in his word doesn't say to exclude certain people on who we serve. I love it. Paul says in Philippians 2, 3-4, it says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better yourselves. I love he says, in humility, he says, consider others better than yourselves. I love when he's saying this. It's almost like he's saying you need to change the way you think. Consider others as better than yourselves. And as I was reading that, it kind of reminded me of like, you know what's weird? In life, it doesn't matter how much of a jerk someone is, if they're famous, if they're rich, or someone that I think is important or I respect them. It's funny how I'll serve them. It's funny when I think others are better than me, I find myself being nicer, overlooking offenses, and actually serving them. And it made me think like, how do I change that around where I can treat other people? Because this is what I've learned is I love he says, consider other better than yourselves. It's weird that once I change the way I think, it changes my actions. I don't know if that's with you, but when I finally change the way I think about things, my actions follow. And I started screaming like, how do I do this? You see, I work with junior hires, and I'll be honest with you, it's hard not to think as me being an adult, I'm better than them. You know, they're supposed to respect me, but then how do I love them? How do I overlook offenses with them? And I had to retrain my brain by saying, but wait a minute. Every single one of those students, I believe that God has given them their own gifts, and they are actually better at certain things than I am. It's the way God designed us. We all have incredible gifts, and we're all different, but we're all gifted in different ways. And I had to change the way I think to where I started to go, but Trav, they are better than you at some things. And it's weird how just changing that little focus, the way I think, my actions followed. Imagine if we could change the way we think, where we actually look at others or consider others better than self, it starts to change. I remember that time I'm walking back and I remember this and I'm like, but Trav, God calls us to serve him. And I remember back, I gave them their 2 coffees and a water. And on my way back, I said, what if I just served the whole back of the plane? I remember I gave water or coffee to the rest of everyone else in that back of that plane on that 747. But imagine if we could change the way we think, if we consider us better than ourselves, see if our actions will follow. That's my challenge for you today. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.